Hey there everybody! Today we are going to be creating a Five Nights at Freddy's movie accurate Withered Spring Bonnie plushie. Now I do say Withered Spring Bonnie simply because half of his side, just like in the movie, has that kind of rotten exterior going on with it. And as you guys can see back here, we have a bit of a sketch of what I want our plush to look like. Let me move the glue gun out of your way. Here's what I'm expecting it to go off and look like by the time that we are finished. And we just want him to look accurate to the in-movie suit. So this right here is a fake Spring Bonnie plush. I purchased him for about $3 to $4 off of Temu. And there are tons of these guys, tons of fakes, so watch out for them. They will not have booty tags, so that is how you can tell that they are fake. And obviously because they don't have the plastic inserts to hold their ears up, so they'll just kind of go crazy whenever you go off and wiggle them. That's not always a dead giveaway. There might be some that didn't get the inserts, but if you guys want to make this guy yourself, what you'll need is a permanent marker, black of course, some glue sticks, a hot glue gun. Make sure that if you are a little on the younger side that you ask your parents' permission before you use anything hot and or sharp, which would include scissors of course. And you are going to need some white crafting felt, which you can get for about 94 cents at Walmart. And you're going to need some black, gray, and white. So anyway, let's go ahead and get down to business here and start our custom. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to put a nice cut in his mouth here. And we're just going to go off and take our scissors and chop this line out here. Hopefully we can get in here. There we go. And just snip, snip. We don't want to snip it all the way out because we do want to be able to hot glue his mouth back together. I might need to use my knife, but like as I said earlier, if you guys are on the younger side and or if you are just very, very, very clumsy, do not be using sharp objects without adult supervision and or a friend to help you out. Let's open this guy up. Alright, well that seemed to do the trick. Go off and poke a small hole there, and then just cut along the seam, just barely, to where you get to the corner of his mouth, because you want it to look like his mouth is slightly held open, just a little bit like this, and then we're going to do some to the other side as well, which will require a steady hand, and hopefully if you guys order these bootleg plushies, they will be somewhat consistent, because a lot of them really aren't. I'm not going to lie. And then we're going to cut just a little bit up into his muzzle to give him some of that withering that Spring Bonnie has in the movie. And just like that, just to give him some divots in his muzzle where his muzzle's kind of worn away. And then we'll cut one down into here as well. And shink. That should be good enough. All right. Now on to the next part. You're going to need to cut a reasonably decently sized sliver out of your felt, and then you're going to just kind of stuff it in and kind of gauge how much you need in there. Make sure that your stuffing is not exposed whenever you do this. So just go off and basically cover it up to the best of your ability and really stuff the felt in there so that way you can go off and completely close his mouth up. You don't want any of that stuffing coming out while you're using your plushie or going off and having him on display. Let's say he falls or something. You don't want stuffing to go spewing everywhere. I'm going to fix him real quick, or else he kind of looks like he has rabies. Alright, and now that I have that in there, make sure you guys get it nice and hot glued. Mine is in there nice, and just in case you guys don't want to put the mouth in there, although I decided to have him with his mouth open, you guys really wouldn't have to do that. Let's say if you just don't feel like cutting the plush open, because it does kind of compromise the integrity of the fabric. So if you're not really a professional, you might end up actually damaging the plushie beyond the point of return. But I felt that it would be a nice touch, and I kind of wanted to go all out on this guy. But it is a very optional thing. And as you guys can see here, his ear keeps on wanting to flip. So why don't we do a little bit of plushie surgery on this guy and just cut it off at the joint. Hope you're ready for this, buddy. Let's see here. Just like that. And we now have freed or liberated his ear. And now we're going to fill it full of hot glue and close it up. Just like that. And then we're going to squeeze and wipe off the excess. And unless you guys have hard calluses on your fingers, I would not use that trick because it can kind of hurt you. So don't do that. I just do it because, well, my fingers are kind of like used to this kind of thing. So there we go. Boom. You now have a liberated ear. And this means we can now get on to the fun part, the withering. But before we do that, if you guys have decided to put a mouth in for your Spring Bonnie, then you need to give him his grid-like teeth. I personally always like to match it up with the muzzle line and go in like that. You guys do not have to, obviously. You guys can come up with your own decisions for your plushies. And boom, there we go. That's the first one. He's got the gap in his front teeth. And then we'll go with the second one here. Looks like I got some hot glue on the fabric there. But that's okay. We can just make it look better than it actually is. Like that. Then we'll go with this line here. And don't worry if you guys get some on the other fabric. We're going to cover that up later. And then we're going to put a line right here. Just like that. And then a line right here. Just like that. And then we're going to do one full line right there. One full line right here between the teeth. Make sure that they go off and actually show up on camera. And we're going to do another one right here. Just like that. And lastly, one right here. And these smaller guys, they don't really need a line, but you could put one if you really wanted to. His ears are kind of bothering me. I'm not really sure how to feel about that. This goofy little guy's got a little grin going on. So now we are going to speedrun the withering process, aka time lapse. Unfortunately, guys, apparently my filming had went off and corrupted because my phone decided to die on me. So you guys are currently sitting at a critical 2% phone charge at the moment, but we are still in business here. The only thing you guys actually missed, unfortunately, due to the corruption, was me going off and filling out the irises of the eyes with the black Sharpie, and it kind of turned them this nice dark olive green, and then adding some little patches on the back of the withering here. And that's kind of it. But other than that, our plushie is actually mostly complete, except for one key thing. And this is strictly from whenever Afton starts to actually possess the suit, and that is some white irises. So this is going to be the finishing touches to our movie accurate Spring Bonnie plushie. If you guys would like to see a review of this guy, then I would be happy to create one for you all. Let's go off and give him a nice dab of paint here for his irises. He needs some big O dabs of paint. Strictly because this guy is haunted as heck and his eyes are very glowy. So it doesn't really matter if it's a uniform or not. But since this guy is kind of special with the fact that he is Afton himself, I want him to look, uniquely creepy. So I'm going to give him smaller pupils than I would usually give my plushies, strictly because this guy is going through a lot of pain in the movie. Oh man, take a look at that, guys. I think he looks great, and that's just my personal thoughts. I think he looks really good. If you guys would like me to make like Sparky the dog or things of that nature, other things from the FNAF movie, please let me know down in the comments below. I actually had a lot of fun making this little guy. I think he looks really good, and I'm so glad that I will now have a movie-accurate Spring Bonnie plushie to call my own. I'm actually really proud of this guy. I think he looks great. And this just goes to show that if Funko won't give it to us, then we'll just do it ourselves. This dude looks fantastic. I hope that you guys will see this guy and feel a little inspired for yourselves. One thing I will say to all you wannabe plushie makers out there, draw out your designs beforehand. It really helps go off and bring the project itself together. And that's just some advice from someone who's done it so many times. It's nice to have a little bit of a forethought on what and where you want to have some withering. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I hope that your plush turns out just as good as mine did. And thank you guys so very much for watching. I know that there's so many different YouTube thumbnails and videos out there, and I am honored that you guys have chosen mine to watch. And thank you guys so much for watching to the end. It really helps out the channel. If you like the video, please leave a like down below. And if you want to see more projects like this, subscribe, and I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed, and bye-bye!